his older brother had a life that fell out pretty neat and tight. Very predictable, and Lord knows the world needs stable people, but Vincent's own life didn't really work out that way at all. But he had these great aspirations. I mean, maybe it wasn't for lack of trying. He was a passionate man, and Van Gogh could not find his place in the world. He attached himself, a lot of people know this, to the church in France. He was a Dutchman, but he worked in France in a mining province, and he worked in the capacity of a social worker. He worked for the church, province of France, very similar to our Appalachia, probably even today. And he had this is the way he applied the gospel. He had this curious notion that to step inside the skin of the poor meant to live like them. So he moved out of the parsonage, and he lived in a shack, and he abandoned the manner of dress that would have been becoming a man of the cloth in his day and age. He could have, lived in a better place, and he could have dressed in a nicer way. Nobody would have thought anything about it because it just came with the territory, so to speak. But he abandoned that, and he just wanted to identify with the affliction and the suffering of the poor people that he worked with. Of course, they loved him, and somehow or another, the church authorities thought that he was desecrating the holy office, so they let the younger Van Gogh, they let him go. That's what they did. They let him go. They let Van Gogh go. Here's where the story gets a little odd. Right after that is when he picked up a paintbrush. But as most of you know, he never had a lick of training, never any drawing. If you look at, some of the early figure drawings, I've seen sixth graders do it much better. They're pretty blocky. Perspective's a little, something clicked at some point. He kept at it, and he gave his heart to painting and drawing for the rest of his life. It's a short one. He took his life by his own hand at an early age, and he never sold a painting. And there's not a one of us that haven't been touched to the core by this immensity, this sort of hallowedness that you find in his pictures, whether it's the potato eaters or something outdoor landscape. He loved outdoors, and he loved God. He struggled with his it's like a lot of people that are sort of in touch with a certain degree of hallowedness in life. It seems like they can't get their own personal act together, but anyway, not to wax universalistic on you, but I think it's a big cross. This song's called Skin. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and it's told from the perspective of the older brother. 1, 2, 3.
I'd seen him despondent a few times as of late. And sometimes the answer that love gives, it's the hardest one to take. He was prone to paint with the voice of his own fear. And Vincent, he picked up the blade, and he put it to his ear. Look at yourself in the mirror. You're all rumpled, red, stubbled, and gaunt. You walk a dead-end path in a dry cornfield, and now this morose response. So your princess, she don't want to see you. No, your prince, she don't want to hear. Vincent, he picked up the blade, and he put it to his ear. Now look, if you're gonna come around here and say those sort of things, you gotta take a few on the chin. You're talking about love and all that stuff. You better wear your thickest skin. Sometimes you can't please everyone. Sometimes you can't please anyone at all. Sew your heart to your sleeve and wait for the axe to fall. and you there with the paintbrush, and you there with your paper and pen. Yeah, we all got some kind of instruments. Play 'em loud, put 'em long to the end. And you know we come with our empty hands. When you don't come at all, deal your best hand out in the marketplace, and you let the chips fall. The package may come wrapped up. There is a lesson here. Vincent, he picked up the blade, yeah, and he put it to his ear. Now look, you gonna come around here and say those sort of things, you gotta take a few on the chin. Yeah, you're talking about sin and redemption. Well, you better wear your thickest skin. Sometimes you can't please everyone. Sometimes you can't please anyone at all. Sew your heart into your sleeve and wait for the axe to fall.